Miss has done this. Miss has done this. Please return the
Just a
mail.
minute, sir.
ಕೇಳು ಫೋನ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಸ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಬೈ now are written by now.
Yeah, so I'm just now we can have this. Yeah, now we have this on YouTube. So I'll just put the link across to you so that you can have people around. All right, so good evening, everyone who've joined us in here. As I can see hi, Naveen sir is there. There are a couple of students from Bapuji, Cards, everyone here. I think very soon people from Impana side also will be joining in. So
Yeah.
that's great to have everybody on board here on a Sunday evening. So we've all gathered here on for a very special talk and conversation, which is again, I just should actually bring out a lot of things about journey from Davangere and everything. So we have with us Dr. Impana, and today we will be having a quick look back into the process of what exactly has led to her reaching her position today. And as we dissect the various parts of it, and we'll keep it really casual and informal, we do have some inputs from her friends and teachers and colleagues, and all of them who will be joining us throughout. And all this is basically forms the fundamental, aspect of who we are is what we experience, and what we experience is what we subject ourselves to. And as I say, the evolution of life and its whole process is how you encounter the various aspects and make the most out of it. So, welcome again, everyone, to PhD 101 Rendezvous series. This happens to be, quote unquote, the out of syllabus session, which happens on Sundays, apart from the regular rapid revisions related to public health dentistry, which happens on every Wednesday. But I think we firmly believe in the all-round development of students, and they need to know the subject and the contents, and they might as well also get familiar with people in dentistry, people who've worked in public health field, who have tried various other extracurricular activities, and who ventured out into various arenas. So Rendezvous is a effort in that direction, and that's just to highlight a few aspects about the personality, about the individual, which add value to the ecosystem, and therefore help us in the greater good of dentistry in India and of course through the world. So joining with me today is Impana, Dr. Impana Biligi. She is connected live with us from Nairobi. She's in Kenya right now. So hi, Impana.
Sorry. Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Let me just start by saying this, that I am beyond honored. Like, I'm just like speechless right now, because especially coming for the first person who's ever given me this platform is you, and you being such a prime factor in me being what I am today is really a new peak for me. So thank you so much. And I also want to thank everybody who's joining the Zoom sessions and also live streaming it. And I hope I'm just going to give you, and I told this to sir that I might not be at the end of my journey, but so far, whatever I've experienced, I hope I will be helpful to anybody and everybody who hears this. And also, to my real surprise, I mean, like Naveen sir's here, and he's been my HOD in my college, and I actually have a story which I'm going to be telling, which includes Naveen sir as well. So it was just perfect, because it was just a fantastic coincidence. I'm really glad about that.
All right, so I think we're going to be discovering a lot of experiences and going back through the journey. Just for people who are not familiar with the format of this session, this would just be quote unquote, not like a viva, of course. This is not going to be me throwing questions and she's going to be compelled to answer, but rather more than describing experiences to what actually led to her every single decision be it either working for the cause of certain social issues while back in college, or the decision to even actually propel of working in the public health field, or rather even going into research as of now. And this is only an attempt to actually give the similar kind of relatable experiences which most of our audience, our dental students, would be experiencing. So they would be actually juxtaposed between what lies ahead and what they need to do. But I'm sure that we all derive value and inspiration from our seniors and from our folk in the same fraternity. So probably that will really help us take this forward. Okay, so I think quickly I just again welcome everybody who's joined us here, and everybody else who's also connected with us and watching us live on YouTube. So I think if everything is fine, we can start off the session. And yes, Impana. So uh, the whole outset of it, right? I think
Yeah.
let's have because of course we're delving into the personality here.
Mhm.
So the whole idea of getting into dentistry, again, as most of us did not come here by choice, but we adopted and adapted to it, right? Or rather, we've become adept at adopting it. So that's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be put.
Yes, yes.
So what were the inclinations back then? We want to know that more about that from the beginning of a journey in College of Dental Sciences. Yes.
So yes, sir, like exactly how you stated, I did not come here by choice. But then I always had a picture in my mind that I wanted to be a doctor. I just didn't have any specificities that, this particular type. When I came into dentistry, I already had people in the family who were dentists specifically. So I had some idea, but I never caught the essence of it until much later. So the first couple of years were, more of a personal growth because we were in the 18 to 20 years old of life and stuff. But I think one of my first experiences of understanding the depth of dentistry was in my final year, like the gap from third year to final year. I think it was one of the camps that you took me to. And I experienced the first time how much work that goes into being a dentist. That was the basics of a sense of it, because somebody came to you with an ailment that only you could fix and brings out the whole, and then the gratitude that they have when they go back. At that point, I experienced the depths of how much it, and it's definitely increased tenfold right now. So yeah, and that is particularly why I have even picked public health, because I associate a lot of what I know in dentistry to my dental public health subject. So I was not just motivated, but I was extremely inspired as to exactly how the field work works. So yeah, that's it. That's what it's.
Hmm. So, as you described, right, your field experiences, your community engagements, like what had happened throughout college, I think that definitely left a very indelible impression that fostered your growth in
Yes,
dentistry. Now, there is something, once we get into the community and we start working in the field and everything, a lot of things are new. We don't know why they're happening, okay?
yeah,
Or rather, when you notice that, what has led to that. Uh, when was the time where you envisioned yourself that, yes, I could also be a part of the system
yeah,
and make it function and probably
yeah.
devote your life towards it? So, is there any
Yep.
instances you'd like to go back and
Yes,
uh,
sir. So certainly, like one of the main ones was when everybody had this picture in mind that public health dentistry was, just a subject, just about going to camps and just doing stuff. But when I actually went into the subject, I realized that it was not just about stats and epidemiology, or just doing surveys, or just going and checking and just doing screening camps. It was more. It was making a change at a large scale level. It was not just waiting behind a dental chair, and it made all of the difference. It's the administrative work which actually had the impact. So one of the camps where I went to, where we met this old lady who was there, and she really had that she couldn't eat, she did not have the teeth and everything, and she was a bit of a struggle. She knew that at that point we couldn't help her because we didn't have the facility, like all the you know materials needed. But she came to us with that amount of faith that we were going to do something for her, because we reached over there and she did not have the dental help that any person in an urban city could have. And that made all of the difference, that somebody going and the outreach that a public health dentist or somebody who is going and doing community work, at that point, it was all of that makes a difference. And I remember like having multiple conversations with you about, if there are different books that I can read, because we just had, one book and we always thought that was everything that dentistry was like, community dentistry was all about, but it wasn't. Example, yeah, this picture, it was one of the pictures that we had done a project on. Even at the aspects of, people did not get it, that it was not just fixing your teeth, it's even about a matter of what your water contains, the water you drink. And the people who are actually working on this are equally important, and they can make a large scale difference. So yeah, these things, exactly.
So I think a lot of experience through that was happening, and you were on to seeing, right? Now your journey through dentistry, and I have a couple of pictures which I'll be sharing here, just to give context to what we're talking. You've always been actively involved in academic deliberations, right? Like
Yes.
you've been at conferences and all of these things. What kept you going through that? Like, being an undergraduate, very few students realize the importance of why you need to do all these things. But what made you keep going on that? Because you had various articles and presentations and
Yeah.
public. So
So this is the story where actually it's about Naveen sir here. Naveen sir was the head of department when I was in third year, and we had this session in the morning at 8, where students were supposed to come. They get a topic and they were supposed to make presentations. And I'm not very proud of it, but as any other undergrad would do, I would not show up to some of the classes. And I, after a couple of missing some of the classes, I remember the professor in charge was like, you know what, you're going to do a assignment, and you're supposed to write this, and then you're going to do 2 presentations, not just one. So of course, I had to like cover for my mistakes. And that time I made a presentation on public health in schools and dental public health and how it works. And it was in that moment, I just made the presentation very blindly. But then when I went on stage, I had the confidence that, wow, I'm actually telling my friends something. And after a while, I realized that I had to make another presentation. And this time it wasn't in the class in front of my friends. It was in front of the whole department where the PG is present. And I didn't know that the HOD and all the senior professors and everybody is going to come there. And I just thought it's just going to be people and I didn't have to worry about it. And at that point, I took things so seriously that I had to make a presentation. And I don't know, the confidence that it gave me at that story, at that point, I just realized, okay, this is my thing. Because when I went there, it was just me telling my story as to whatever I understood in the topic. And that amount of confidence, I did not find in anything else. So I was always like motivated to do it. And I kept doing it. And it went on to being conferences and presentations. And sir, honestly speaking, I have seen you present in so many places, like in so many things. And it was also going alongside with me emceeing in so many places. So I had the confidence on stage. I just needed to know my subject. And I always knew that if I presented something different and something new, it would just make it. For example, this presentation was my first ever presentation, which I had made was in Dharwad. And it was pretty okay. I was not that perfect at this point, but then I realized I went on to another one and I came to Denzi sir and I told him, sir, I'm looking for a topic. And he was like, what do you, yeah, this one. So he was like, what do you want to do? I said, sir, I have no clue, but I want to present something new. I don't want to take a case presentation and go. And I was not very confident. So sir said, why don't you do a topic where they study fingerprints to understand genetic disturbances? And I was like, wow, that sounds pretty interesting. So I went on to it and I found out there's a whole term there's a study of something called dermatoglyphics. And I remember the person giving me the award was like, you were so into the presentation, even I started moving my hands. So I realized at that point that this was my thing. And it just went on going. And I consider my certificates as just a job well done. I mean, that's how the private taken it.
So actually, that's really interesting, Impana, because actually venturing it out and trying your experience at different things, different topics, again, conferences, conventions. These are the things which give you like, the amount of confidence, and they keep on making you better and better. So I think a good amount of that exposure is necessary for all students. And we do tell people there as well. So that's really fantastic to know. Now, when we come on to other aspects, right, when we notice that there is so much more to be done in dentistry, rather than just look into this. What were your interests and passions? Like apart from academics, when you're coming to quote unquote the extracurricular activities
Yeah.
and all of these things. So, how did that pick up, and how did that go, and how did you foster that? Yeah.
Um, Honestly, sir, like I was just saying, the confidence that I have on stage played a big role in whatever how my interests turned out. So from starting as something as we have dances, we have fests, we participated. Definitely all of these things, as most of my batchmates did. I did too, but MCing was one of my I kind of think that's the feather in my hat that I would be like really proud of, because MCing started as something I would do on stage, and I've been doing it since I was a kid in school and colleges, and I always presented in places, and I always was there doing it. And when I came here into the college, I was like, you know what, this is my thing. Why don't I just go and I do it? And the confidence, sometimes I would not be prepared. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't be prepared. Sometimes I just wing it. It's just the confidence that you go on stage and you just have to talk to not just another person, just hundreds of people in front of you, and make sure that they're engaged. That was about it. And it just built the MCing built a lot of my personality, gave me a lot more confidence than I would rather have if I did not do it. This also branched into building me to be a teacher. And again, I am going to be saying this multiple times because Denzi sir has a role to play in every different talent and aspect that I've had, because he was there. I consider him as a very important person because he was my mentor through all of these things, maybe MCing, maybe teaching or event management or learning how to, run certain things, or leadership and organization. So when it comes down to teaching, sir also gave me an opportunity to teach 9th and 10th standard students. When I stood there and I knew that I could impart my knowledge, I would not just engage a crowd, I would be engaging them in such a way that they were understanding what I'm trying to say. And this is actually a very significant part of my career. Example, this particular initiative that my dear friends used it as a part of their graduation, and it would not be possible without the team. Each and every person in this team actually came over the taboo of menstruation, and the whole idea was to inculcate the fact that boys and girls need to be educated about it. This idea was actually brought up with one of my brilliant friends who came and gave this idea, and she's like, you should go ahead and do it. And I was put in charge, and this turned out to be one of the most successful events because one of the boys actually got up and told us. We asked him, so what do you learn from this? He said, I understand that what a woman goes through. So a student who is like 15, 16 years just listened to us say and understood the sensitivity of the topic, made all the difference in the whole organization of this plan. So we definitely think it was a success. And moreover, other than MCing and teaching, I always was with Sir trying to learn how events work, how a management of an event works, how many people play a role in it, and how different people put in different kind of efforts. And it was not just different people working, it's the one leader on top who was organizing and making sure everything works functionally within a proper way. So this was something that I picked up the most from Sir, and is something that I always believe that I need to be better at. I used to like read books. I remember Sir gave me this book called The Professional by Subrata Bakshi, and I still have it. So by the way, this book had many short stories of how you need to be professional in life, because we need to understand that we're not going to be children all our life. And the sooner you start inculcating these habits within yourself, it makes all the difference. So also gave me a book called The Secret to Leadership by Mr. Prakash Iyer. And that book that just turned things around for me, I actually recommend it to a lot of people whenever they come around, and I'm just like, God, you got to read this book. And all of these different things is just made me the person I am today. I mean, not a perfect one, but a work in progress, and a fantastic work in progress, I would hope, because it has built me into having whatever I have today. I believe, I hope also that I will be working on all of these things in the future as it goes through, and apply all of these things what I've learned so far. Because yeah, that's about it. So
Yes, so I think a lot of things, yes, we do tell students, we do tell people, but then actually working on all of these areas and effectively channelizing your energies. And I think that's been one peculiar feature throughout your college life, that all your teachers would definitely, say that you are persisting, you're focusing onto what you want. And I always remember, that whenever Impana is to come and discuss an idea, or something, we're going to have and work this upon, it's the tremendous amount of energy that she comes within, and that itself propels you to greater heights, and to work in that direction and to take it off. And that's the reason how, she's been able to do all these fantastic things, for hosting events, being a part of celebrations across the state, and also, being on the panel for jury members, and also being a part of many
yeah,
collaborative work together. I think that really stands out, and I can easily vouch for this and say that she's so very dedicated, in the field, and to signing roles and duties, and managing. I think anybody would be really happy to delegate the responsibilities, and I do definitely see that, in whatever she does. So all of these interests, for you, like they all happened together in many ways. You can say that you created your own world, or it
yeah.
can also be told that, it just transpired across in the world, that you happen to exist among all of these things, because you are someone who've been into different sorts of things, right? Okay, from emceeing to, hosting events, and then organizing events behind, and a lot of social events, and like you describe your experiences from college life and beyond,
Yeah.
functions and all of these things. Um, when did you decide on this fact that, yes, how do I fuse the best of both the worlds? That is, when you're talking about the person that you are, that what you like to do, and what are the amazing things you've been doing, and also develop on an academic field of interest, which was already, you had said that you want to do something in community or in public health. So how did you fuse both the worlds and decide to go where you are, I mean, right now? Like, how do you decide
Yeah.
to? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question, sir. So exactly when the word community dental health or public health, it completely entiles whatever the qualities I have, and I found myself to fit like a puzzle perfectly over there. Because when I have seen you work, I have seen Dr. Tanushree work, and Dr. Mahesh, and Dr. Akhil, and so many people. I mean, even Dr. Shashank, Dr. Naveen, Dr. Prashant, all of these people, I have seen them do things and go there, be present, the way you present yourself when you're going in front of an administration. The one part that made me choose it was the administrative fact of it, of how the administration of all the community works, because it was again organization and leadership again. So I felt my qualities that I had of being able to talk in front of a crowd, being able to engage a crowd, being able to teach a crowd, being able to lead a team to something that everybody wants. I found myself into everybody has different qualities, and I found myself, I have a bit, my personality is on a more dominant side, and I knew that if I had to functionally make it work, I had to use a leadership quality and a leadership job. And I knew that public health gave me the opportunity to change not just one but many lives by just standing there and actually conversing with them. And this kind of abridged my gap. Is just, especially like I said, I have done all of these things at once. It actually happened with a small gap between end of 2017 to end of 2019 is when I have been the most active and doing all of these things at once. It's just seeing the PGs, like there are so many pictures of PGs. I used to just like go take pictures and see students, and they knew that this is the toothpaste and this is what you need to do. Some children may or may not be aware of it, of how to do, and some things it just changes your experiences. This was one of it. I had gone with my oral medicine HOD. So ma'am gave a very fantastic speech that day, which was really moving. And all of these small things, I realized if I was there, I could also do a good job. And that was just made me finalize that I want to do community medicine, because by the beginning of the year, I knew I wanted to do community medicine, because everybody, I remember professors asking us, oh, what field are you expecting to take? It's your final year, you're done. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do endo? Do you want to do prosto? And everybody had a very fantastic choice. And I used to be the one or among two people who used to be like, I want to do community medicine. I know I want this. I know I'm going to perform well, and I know my skills are just going to add fantastically to it. So that was it.
So actually identifying yourself suit this subject, that is public health, and the broad area which you envisioned. How was it when you reached, of course, the Tropical School of Medicine, right? That's in London.
Yeah.
When you started off your course, that's about exactly 2 years ago. That's if I'm right.
1 year ago, sir.
1 year ago, right?
1 year ago. Yeah.
So from experiencing public health and community experiences to actually working there, reading the subjects, if you could share your inputs on that.
Yeah, sure, sir.
What could be relevant for us to see?
Yeah, so there was another jump that I had from dental public health to general public health. So when I understood that my skill set was perfect for this part of academics, and I could also make this out into a profession, because many students, they do not realize this. I found myself, my juniors, I've seen a lot of people, maybe people my age, elder than me, who have come and spoken to me, and the conversations that I've had, people pick up a course fancying the course, not fancying what it is going to result in. And that was one of my key aspects, because when I was interested in public health, it was very easy for me to just go and pick up community medicine in any of the colleges and do my MDS. But I knew that my skill set was beyond that, and I wanted to do something at an international scale, which I always had a picture. And so what would I do in return? It would be a course, 1, 2, 3 years, and then what would I do? What job would I end up in? And I felt like Masters of Public Health gave me a more, a larger scope, a more straight of people, a more bigger cohort of people, which I could make a difference to. Because my interests were not just associated. After I did the menstruation campaign, and we did, whenever we talk about women's issues, and I strongly feel a lot about women's issues. Equally, I feel about the issues that men have. A lot about children, mental health. I have so much to talk about. I cannot restrict myself to just dentistry, and I knew it. So if I had to find a bigger pool where I could include all of the social causes that I wanted to make a difference in, was Masters in Public Health. And the journey, honestly speaking, wasn't easy. Like, people expect, I have had a lot of people come and tell me, oh, you know what, must have been so easy. You just applied to the college, you must have paid the money and you've gone there. I said, it doesn't work like that. To get into one of the top 5 colleges in the world, it's not possible, which I absolutely did not assume would be possible for myself either, because being a dentist, not having that kind of background and work in public health, because public health is vast. We just believe like dentistry and 9 to 10 different sub-subjects into it. No, there are like hundreds and hundreds of different types of specializations that you can do in public health and general public health, because it does not stop. International health, infectious diseases, maternal health, child health. So many different issues come under one topic. So for me to be able to do the research and decide, this is exactly the topic that I want to do. I want to study global health. I want to be able to include dentistry into it, and to be able to address the gender aspects. So subjects such as epidemiology, statistics, advanced epidemiology, health promotion. So these topics were our first subjects, which introduced us to the basics, something that we do study in dentistry, but most of the students do not really understand the essence of it, because it's really interesting. For somebody who does not like maths, I am a huge fan of stats already. So after learning it, like recently when I started doing it, I said, you know what, I can do this. So moving on to that, we went into the trickier subjects, where how much of an importance that health promotion has. There are people designated to do health promotion who take a step ahead to find strategies, to make strategies, so that a disease, its treatment is reached to the people who need it. And this was one of the biggest aspects, because right now my current if I do hopefully further study, I would like to study health promotion, because that makes a big difference again. So we studied health services, as to how um, services that are available are reaching the people or not reaching the people. And if they're available, how are they functioning? Each and everything, and even policies. We might not understand the implication that a policy has as to how people reach it, because there's a government aspect, there's a political aspect, there's a whole policy that's come into play. We don't know how it comes into play. Once it comes into play, how is it executed? When it's executed, how is it evaluated? So many technical things were really new to me, but it was the most interesting thing that when we started learning case studies, it was exciting. But there's also a whole other aspect that you need to know is exactly what you need to do. I mean, anybody who is looking forward to go and study abroad, you cannot just pick up any course, because you'll just end up into any job and you'll be like confused. I assumed that if I got an international degree, I'd get an international job. So what you want to do, you have to be really specific about it. And when I went to London school, and I knew it was a prestigious college, I remember I was at Lokesh, so we usually hang out there in the evenings. So it was just a day with me, my friend Krishnan Iyer, and Ipsita, and another one of my friends, Simran, and they were all right there. And we were just, just spending another evening, because everybody was leaving. It was the time as everybody was leaving. I just open up my email, and I see the offer letter that I have. And I was over the moon. I was like, how did an institution like that pick up something that I did? I mean, my application, I was so underconfident that I might not get through any of the colleges. But then I realized the presentations that I made, the emceeing that I did, the awards that I got, the extracurricular work that people always assume I was just frolicking around doing, even if it's management or even if it's anything, that actually had a huge weightage in my resume, which made all the difference in the end. And yeah, for anybody making, please go ahead. It's a good field, and just make an informed decision. That's more important than anything else.
Yes. Right. So as Impana mentioned, right, I think it's important we focus on key areas and what exactly we have to work upon. And as you go up the ladder, you explore various institutes. So that is all that there is there for you to do and discover out in the world.
Bola.
For dental students, I think we have a lot of you know like they're usually in a dilemma as to what has to be done, and in fact many of them aren't even clear that whether they want to do a master's in any of the 9 specialties, or
Yeah.
if they want to go in and to do other courses and all of that. So what would you suggest, Impana? Like for students to begin with, like third years and final years, how does one identify, okay, whether they're clinically oriented or maybe towards public health or any of the
Yeah.
others? And it's something like, a self-analysis of that sort of? Yeah, if you
Yes,
could.
sure. Yeah, thank you. So thank you for the question. This is actually something I really wanted to address using this platform, because I have had so many students and friends and people coming up to me and asking me the same question. So I would really like to send this message across to as many people as possible. So I would, first of all, one advice that I would give you is, do not just stick to academics, please. Nobody. I mean, do well, be motivated, study, do your quotas, learn new things, but don't just be academically oriented. Just doing clinical works. I'm a dentist and this is all I need to do. I mean, you know why? Because I feel like the only one thing that helped me decide that I wanted to do a non-clinical field was because I did something else first. Do everything and then pick what you want to do. That way you never have regrets that, okay, I gave everything a shot. This is the best choice for me and I'm going to do it. So that is the first thing I would recommend. You better start that from maybe your first year, second year, and by third year, you should be into a couple of things. I had friends who, had fantastic, they were like so good at sports and so good at football, so good at badminton. They were so good at just writing, creative writing, academic writing. Some of them were just fantastic with just reading. Everybody has skills and they need to tap into those resources, because I honestly believe, with no offense to anybody, everybody is taught to that you need to work, study, your academics, and then you just need to get a job which pays you 9 to 5. We're in a world where that is not going to give us whatever we've dreamed of. So you need to know that you have to tap into the resource of all your potentials, open that big jar, and then let all of your skills at work. And you will know what you want to do along with your academics. Always have something along with your academics. And that is going to literally like bring out the best in you, and you're going to have confidence, because every day your confidence is what is going to take you and make you wake up next morning and I can do this. That's what it's going to do, no matter what anybody says and no matter what anything happens. So that's the second one. The third thing I would like you to say is, when it comes to clinical and non-clinical, some people I have seen, my own friends. So the friend group I have, there are already 3 surgeons and I'm the only one. And the fourth one is already expecting that. She's like, you know what, I want either a clinical field or probably going to be a surgeon again. So I have a group of surgeons, and there's Impana right there. So I know that I remember when they made the choices, they were so passionate about it. They were like, this is what I see myself doing for the rest of my life, because I am going to enjoy this. And I thank that group of friends a lot. And not just them, but there are a lot more other people who influenced me what I am today. They motivated me. I remember one of my friends who I used to always sit next to him and learn how to do, because I was really slow. I couldn't bend wire properly, neither could I cut a cavity properly, or I couldn't do a lot of things properly, but I used to learn from him. So that was a big thing. So when you are picking clinical or you're not picking non-clinical, it's not just about 2 names. Okay, clinical, non-clinical. Okay, you're going to go into research or you're going to do endo, prosto, surgery. When you look at a subject and you are like, this is exactly what I want to do, that's the point. But certainly speaking, let's be practical right now. Not everybody's passion kicks in exactly in 3rd year or final year, and even in internship or even after internship. Then the process of elimination helps. The process of elimination is something I would recommend you doing. Do you picture yourself being a community person? Yes, no, aside, or put them in sections. Make a weightage. Okay, maybe I have chosen endo, prosto, surgery. Okay, these are my top 3 picks. Which one is going to give me the happiness if I do this the most, and which is going to be the most practical way to do it? And then you pick your choices, and may it be clinical. If you feel like maybe sitting and working on a patient is not my thing, and I would be more beneficial to put my skills in research, is you can pick non-clinical. Find your skills. Allow whatever is inside you to go out and work. Then you realize which skill exactly brings the best out of you. For me, it was just public speaking. When I was public speaking, everything panned out perfectly. And that just keeps building on. So for students who are, unsure what to do, make sure you do everything, and then you're going to find something in it. That way you're not going to have a regret of, okay, I did not try this or I did not try that. Also for students who are not aware absolutely what to do, and you feel like the 9 subjects and in dentistry, which are the specializations that you can do, just don't resonate with you at all, you don't feel that you fit in any of the sections, there is a whole sea of opportunities for dentists. And starting from something like, everybody knows what's an MPH, Masters in Public Health, which has 100 other different specialties. There's health administration, there's international healthcare, there's infectious diseases. There is dental public health, which you can do at an international degree from the University of College London. There is so many different opportunities that you can take. You may go to even the States or different countries. And if you don't feel like practicing in India, let's honestly, being practical, the situations of doctors right now is very uncertain. And if you're not happy with certain aspects of the practice in India, you can venture outside. You can clear the USMLE. You can also write the ORE. You can write the entrances. If you do not want to, then you can definitely apply for so many. For right now, I'm in Kenya, and the opportunities that doctors have is vast. I just went to a hospital recently, and every doctor was an Indian. every specialty, from a general physician to an oncologist to a gynecologist, everybody was an Indian, including the dentist who were from my own family. So there's a whole sea of options outside. Never feel that I'm useless because I don't know what to do, or if I have not written the entrance exam, or if I have not written the IELTS to get into some course. There is, and apart from all of this, if you don't want to touch the patient or just like anything, there's research. I also have come across people who are just doing scientific research in a field of choice. They can just go and do research. You are useful in every manner. Your knowledge is like, it's not, it's, you can just cannot measure it. It's immeasurable. You just have to make sure you tap into all your resources, and then you're going to find the one place that it's just going to resonate extremely well with you, and you just have to go with it, because you're going to work with it all your life. And otherwise, just one other thing that I would say is, please attend conferences. Please do make the best of the situations, because in the end, what happens is your whole degree, if you do not do anything, it's going to be one line in your resume. Tomorrow, when you're applying for a job, it's going to be that one line where you're going to be like, bachelor's in dental surgery, college so-and-so, year so-and-so, and internship 1 year. So your resume, tomorrow your resume is going to make a difference. It's going to be your identity card. Every job seeker is just going to see, okay, this is one line. So whatever extracurriculars you do is going to make a big difference. And I also thank Denzi sir, because he was one of my motivators to do. I remember I was in third year, and sir bought a couple of awards, and we were outside, I think, Bapuji Dental College, and sir said, you know what, this is the award I got. And I was like, sir, this is so cool. And sir was like, you need certain qualifications, you need to be a dentist, and you should have done a lot of extracurricular work. And I knew that I was not due for applying for the award for the next 2 years. But then sir was like, you know what, you can work on it, I'm sure. And I remember sir bringing another one, and I was like, oh my God. And then he bought like a plaque, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind getting at least one of those. So sir gave me that. I remember, sir, I looked at it and I was like, you know what, I really want one of those. And sir said, work for it. You want it, you want one of those medals in your honor, you have to work for it. Then qualify for it, and you should be. And that, I remember when I got the award, I called sir. It's sir, this is the first person I called. I said, sir, I got it. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So what she's referring to is, I think, the FAMDent award.
Yeah.
It happened. Yes. So I think that's a lot of thoughtful perspective, which Impana shared for all of our students, as to venturing it out in various avenues in dentistry. After your as soon as you complete your undergraduation, it's important where you push yourself, in which direction. Identify, and more than what you want to do, please get this out of your heads, that this is something which I absolutely do not want to do. So once you filter out this, you do this introspection process, you know that you're meant for these things, and these are the things you can and you cannot. And then narrow down on your career choices and look for the best in that field. Get yourself a mentor, a guide, and then push yourself and position yourself in the market, when it comes to dentistry and beyond. So I think that's really important for any student, what we have come across. So now let's going on to some other aspects of our guests and her experience so far. I think I'd like to request from teachers here who've joined in. I think Dr. Naveen sir, who's witnessed Impana grow through her college life and has actually seen the transformational experiences what she has been undergoing, and which has led to where she is right now. So I'd like to request Naveen sir to please say a few words.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen Impana as an all-rounder more than a dentist from her college days, which is absolutely essential. And I would like to tell her, she said extracurricular, I would tell it better to mention as co-curricular, because
Yeah.
nothing is extra in curriculum. Everything is co. It's just the matter how a teacher thinks, that if he thinks one who is playing football or cricket or good in auditions, etc., as an extracurricular, I feel it should be a co-curricular, because a human being needs to be good in everything. And like a food contains everything, we also should have all the characters, which I am very poor at. But still, I would never discourage a person who wants to take up what he or she wants to do. So, to add on, I would like to tell that public health dentistry.
Yes, you can just unmute.
Yeah. To add on, uh, like public health dentistry is such a specialization where you can feel the pain of a community as a whole. Not that we are trying to serve the whole community is our main motto, but at least if you are able to satisfy, like Dr. Impana mentioned, she saw a woman without teeth who was having a very difficult time to have food also. But what brought her there? The enthusiasm, the positive attitude, which she thought that I could get help something from there. And the interns, I think Impana was third year, fourth year, I don't remember. Whatever she is, they could not do anything to her, but the confidence they gave to her is what is public health industry. You may not give them what they need, but you'll make them feel comfortable. The quality of life will obviously elevate when you talk to a patient properly. And these communication skills are the one which matters the most. And as she said, communication. Initially, she might be good in audition. I don't remember the word. I don't know the word what
Announcer.
she used. Uh, so, with such skills, you will become a better orator. You will understand the pain of a population, and you will be able to reach them at their own level. So, I wish her all the best, and
Thank you.
I hope she'll do much better in public health. She's in a very prestigious institution, and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, that's I'm just speechless right now. I'm just getting that someplace so senior. Just um, yeah, no words. I'm just like really trying to fathom everything in.
So that was Naveen sir, all the way from BHU Varanasi. Sir has been a very huge force and model to reckon with, especially for public health industry for Impana throughout her college days and beyond as well. So thank you so much, Naveen sir, for those thoughts and sharing about Impana's journey. So now we'll go on to one of the other people who witnessed Impana nourish through her journey, and I think Impana would be surprised at this. I'd like to request Dr. Salim sir to please.
Oh,
Yes, Dr. Salim sir, presently sir is working as a dental health officer in the government sector in Karnataka. Yes, Dr. Salim sir, if you could pitch in and say a few thoughts.
Hello.
Yes,
hello,
Dr.
sir.
Salim. Go on. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was driving and I was a bit busy. Okay. So, as far as Impana is concerned, the people who know me and who have my WhatsApp number know that when I had entered BDCH, my status was work hard, party harder. So, the one person who related the most was obviously Denzi, and the next was Impana. So that's what I liked in our group over there, which we had a small group, and that is how it functioned. That when we worked very hard, and when we partied really hard. And about Impana, there's not one sentence that that I can tell, but yes, one word is the most appropriate word would be strength. Always I felt that if there is a strong girl, it is Impana. She has worked
So,
a lot, and she has faced a lot, and I know what she has faced, and this is not a platform that we should be discussing about it right now. but she has gone through a lot and then reached where she has reached now, and I'm really proud of you. Uh, and maybe everyone around you is proud of you the same way that I am right now, and looking forward to you coming back as soon as possible. But yeah, I really want to know what is the difference in community dentistry per se, as in India and abroad. What difference have you felt over there? That perspective that you have got, first-hand experience. Can you please share, Impana?
Thank you, sir. Firstly, I would like all of the viewers of this particular broadcast to know that Salim sir has not only, like how sir said, we worked hard, we party harder, but sir has, I think even Denji sir is going to agree, he's always been that umbrella of support for all of us. Sir has brought in a lot of experience along with a lot of wisdom for each one of us, and he's given it to us at the right time. I mean, he's chosen the appropriate moment. I remember sir would never give you the right answer then and there. He would let you figure it out first. And then he would model you so fantastically. And not just as a student or somebody who's in, he's my peer like that, but also as a human being. Sir has given a lot of life lessons that he's taught me. I remember sir, and we used to all catch up, and sir used to teach me so much, not just about college, but about religion, about people, about how things function. And he showed me so much about history and culture, and there is a lot that I still carry from sir. And one of the biggest you know things that he's done for me is he's had trust in me. And I know for a fact that one of the really core reasons that I'm here is because of Salim sir, because he trusted me at the right time when I needed him the most. So yeah, I mean, sir, I'm just beyond happy that you're here and you said that. And secondly, I would like to answer your question. So that's actually a fantastic question, because something that I would like to address as well. When there are certain categories in an international aspect, they are categorizing world into the first world countries, like the higher income countries called the HICs, and the lower and middle income countries, and the below poverty countries. So here what happens, our country comes in the lower middle income countries. In these countries, based on the economy and the status, the issues are completely different. When I am in a particular rural setup, I'm going to think what I'm going to do for this particular setup. And these are the people I'm familiarized. For me, being an Indian who's seen things in India, I know a certain set of things. But when you're looking at an international perspective, me, who is raised in India, is going to come and try and solve problems of people in Kenya, because that's completely different. For people in India, maybe food, water, cleanliness, healthcare, they're very similar in other countries as well, but there are different, such as countries with war, especially Syria and all of these countries in Iraq and all, they are going through a different set of issues. So we will be dealing those problems as well. That was one of the newest things that I learned, which is also a subject, studying about countries who are in war and how to deal with them and what are the issues that they have. Because we think public health, okay, pani diya, food, some healthcare, some clothing, some medicine, something. But then when you think about something, people who are the countries who are under war, for countries who have high rates of infections, for example, when it's here, high rates of infection rates and high death rates, how do you handle that? Because when you're calculating in statistics, you are going to think about things like uh, how many people are cured, how many more people are getting it, and how many people you're actually keeping alive. Because to be honest, I'm luckily all of us have a good stamina to handle things, and we can fight infections because of our roots and stuff, but not many people are able to do that. For something as simple as buying medications, people can't do it. And that was especially learning about that particular class of people, where what you needed to provide was beyond. You just don't need to give water, food, you need to treat them in a different manner. And one of the key learnings that I have learned, that mental health is no joke. I have learned that mental health is no joke. We have understated it so much that we don't understand the importance, because we are driven. We have to do this. No matter what, we have to do this. But there are people who might not need food or water. They might need counseling more than that, who might need a doctor to help tell them that they're okay. Like PTSD being such a big issue. We don't understand the weightage it carries. So mental health and all of these things are one of the biggest differences, sir, that I have seen in international public health versus something that we do in India. And if we apply something as sensitive as that to our, I think even our population is really going to benefit from it.
Okay, thank you, Impana.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any implementary changes as far as the government concerns are
Yeah.
related to, and
Mm.
the other organizations working towards community
Yeah.
service?
Mm.
Because here what I have felt is either the colleges per se who have a per se department they are working, or our health sector, which is again a public sector, is working. As far as the private partnership is concerned for community medicine, it is either the liability that they are forced to work, or it is just for the publicity of their particular unit, particular
Yeah.
hospital, where they just want
Mm-hmm.
to fish and push their patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to know that community medicine over there, what you have seen firsthand as a student or as a keen observer, that is what I believe in you.
Mm.
So have you seen any intent being different in India and abroad?
Yes, sir, certainly. We definitely learned some of the case studies based on this, and I've even seen this in people as well. When I speak, for example, something as an infectious disease, the way it is seen and treated in India and abroad is like extremely different. For that matter, like a lower income country and a higher income country, that's how we'd be comparing it. So the intent to treat would be extremely different when you're comparing it with India, because we deal with one of the biggest issues that many first world countries don't deal with, is population and the
Exactly.
strength. Yes,
Yeah.
we deal with that. Whenever I be like, this is so easy, why don't we do this in India? And then I think about it. We are 10 times, or I think 20 times more than them. It's impossible for somebody, for their even if the poorest person goes and gets help, seeks help, he will be treated because they can handle that population. For us, we are not handling that population, we are handling 10 times the population. So we need to be more efficient. Our concept is more efficiency and maintaining quality at the same time, and we try our best to reach, and that's why all of us are studying so hard to reach that quality and that efficiency. And in implementation matters, so they have different sectors within the government that take specific care. For example, NHS is the National Health Services, which is there in the United Kingdom, which functions in the country of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So, and wherever universal healthcare is there, there is one sector that provides free mental health counseling for anybody who reaches out. And if not, especially during COVID, even when I traveled there, they have a system where you will keep getting messages saying that if you are facing any mental health issue, please call us at this number. It's free and we'll give you counseling. And there were also there were some private NGOs who used to just leave letters for people who don't have phones. They just leave letters in people's houses, and it's going to have a message written in it saying that we are so and so. If you ever need us, you can please give us a call. And we, including colleges, in our colleges, there's a 24/7 helpline for students who are going through exam stress or any kind of stresses, especially during COVID, saying that you can call us 24/7. If it's 2 in the night, 3 in the night, if you feel anything, please call us right now, and we will give you the professional help. And it is, yeah, it can be implemented, like colleges can consider that as a part, and definitely. But yes, sir, the biggest issue, population, we are handling, we are, the way we are performing, our doctors are performing. Even I see you, Nasser, I've seen you in action, and I've seen you how you are making a difference at a, you're at the field, you're you're in a government sector, you're at a position, and I've seen you tell people, I've seen you give speeches. That's why I find community health very important, because the way our population works, we need to be talking about a huge cohort at once. Each person cannot be responsible for one person or two people or 10 people. We are supposed to be about a huge cohort, and we need to be making differences at large scales, so that, as like Naveen sir very well put, as many people, if you're not able to treat them, you need to give them the confidence that we are there. even if then and there they're not able to get the treatment, we can get something to them, and that makes a huge difference. This is all this was one of my key aspects of my thesis as well. So I was studying basically about how mental health during COVID has had an effect on people in India, especially the youths, because the suicide rates in India are really bad. For students who are under exam pressure, it's really bad. For women who had to go through harassment because of staying at home, really bad. These things, each and every person can't go and knock at the door and fix it, because we have cultural barriers, population barriers, financial barriers, economical barriers. So like everything coming together is just it's there. But I always hope for a better India, and I hope that whoever's studying today, who is listening to this and who takes an initiative, I know there are a lot of people who want to study public health have come to me, and I hope that you take an initiative to make this difference at a very
Yes,
government
let's
sector
hope and
speaking.
let's
Yeah,
work
yeah.
for a better India, everyone.
Yes, sir. Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
can I ask a question, Dr.
Yes,
Renzi?
yes, please, sir, please go on, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Impana,
Yes, sir.
it's surprising to know that still they are considering income as a criteria for classifying the countries.
Yes.
Do they have any criteria based on happiness? Like long
They.
back, I have read
Yeah.
Bangladesh is the happiest country in the world.
Mhm.
Sir.
So,
Yeah.
why don't we focus on happiness rather than
Yeah.
financial things?
Good
I
one, sir.
hope,
Good
sir,
one.
that is the goal, sir. Tomorrow, I hope that all of us who are working here make sure that Naveen sir, whatever he said, his dream comes true. Whoever is working in public health, I hope tomorrow none of us are going to check the economy. We're going to be see how happy the people are. It's going to matter, so because like people when they're especially over there, where in UK and all of these places, they look at India as if there is a big misconception. So honestly speaking, even when I have gone there and they're like, oh, you're from India, this some of them still have a very backward thought on the country who's progressing at such a high rate, with so much of youth changing the face of the world. And it's crazy how people still underestimate Indians. And but we need to also understand that I remember people are like, you know what, UK has handled it so much better, and States has handled it even better. There are so many countries like New Zealand have handled extremely well COVID and a lot of other issues, and they have gone beyond hunger and poverty and healthcare, and they have universal healthcare. I said, exactly, you're not dealing with our population, you're not dealing with the
Exactly.
secularism and the cultural differences, and there's so much that you have to apply for when it's in India. And I feel like I really hope for the way we all work towards it and make Naveen sir's dream come true. And I hope in the future, maybe 20 years from now, we have this discussion and we're saying really happy countries and not so happy countries.
Sir, I
Yeah.
think it was Bhutan, not Bangladesh. Bhutan was
Okay.
voted the happiest country. Yeah.
Okay.
On a
And
lighter
even
note,
Yes, sir.
sir, on a lighter note, the point of implementation that I asked Impana is that, and she gave an example of a committee where she can call a helpline 24
Mm,
into 7 and she can be helped out. Similarly, we have NAC in our colleges,
mm.
and we have student redressal committees wherein going to the committee and approaching the committee itself is traumatic. Leave it or what other traumas you have. So that's the point of implementation that I think
So,
is a little different in the
yeah.
other
So,
countries.
Dr.
lovely that you
Salim,
bring up. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
yeah,
Yes.
Dr. Salim, you
Sir,
are absolutely right. See, there is no discrimination of a student and a teacher in outside India, I think, but there is
yeah,
a huge
exactly,
demarcation here.
Hmm.
exactly.
Unfortunately, which should not be there.
So I
Nice, you
think
have
there
brought
are
up this point.
teachers. There are teachers like you who are, completely diminishing that gap,
Yeah,
and we haven't
there
been
are
that
very
comfortable.
good
There
teachers
are
also.
many teachers who diminish that gap and make you feel, I think I could agree this with, and many of us who have had that experience will agree. I know there are people who have different experiences, and I do respect their experiences. But I am one of the lucky enough to come across not one but many people who have diminished that gap and tried to go beyond being a teacher to teach their students. And also, sir, like also saying about that, this committee that I talk about mental health is actually run by students. Yeah, the student union does that so that because they know that people might not be comfortable, and there to an extent that they have the facility, like they have healthcare and food and everything happening. It's not like they're not working on it, they're working. They have like fully structured solid foundation. So when they're talking about mental health, sometimes if you just they try to prevent it so much that if you're bored in the night, you can just call them, sir. So you can just
Yeah,
call them and talk to
that's too
them.
much actually.
So they have so
That's
much
too
free
much
time and
availability.
resources.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like, let's call and talk to them. They
Okay.
feel like, yeah.
And one more thing I would like to know is it's new for me to see that what is the healthcare facilities in the countries which are engaged in war,
Yeah.
and the course is coming up from UK London School of Public Health and Hygiene. But somehow the causes of war is debatable because no
Yeah.
country being a poor fight amongst them. It is the
Mhm.
external forces which are leading to the war, and it's
Mhm.
very trickier to see that these people who are premier in doing these things are again started the courses also.
So
No,
that
no
is
Syria
actually a
or
very
no Middle East country can produce a AK-47, but they know to.
yeah. So
See,
I understand that.
Syria is one of the countries which I visited long back
Yeah.
for a exchange program.
Mhm.
Such a beautiful country, you know. I had been in Aleppo. No, I am
Okay.
forgetting the name. It's called as Halab in Arabic.
Hmm.
Mm. Halab. It's called as Halab in Arabic. In English, I don't remember the name. It's such a beautiful place, such a beautiful country, and very unfortunate to see what is happening at this point of time.
Um.
So
So
anyhow,
on
this
yeah.
happiness, yeah, happiness is one thing which I think many European countries come down the ladder than the Asian and Middle Eastern countries. And I hope we keep on climbing the ladder and will be helpful to the people in some other way.
True. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Just had one last point to add on that, sir, if you don't mind. Yeah. So that was actually an excellent point. And when, yeah, they have. I mean, I understand that there are multiple sensibilities that we need to keep in mind because, we cannot like really offend anybody right now. But the thing is, um, when we came together as a cohort when I joined my college, and there were people from all over the world, and some of them specially came there so that they can learn and go back and help their own countries. Like I had people from Ghana and so many countries in Africa as well. So when they're talking about these particular countries, we are not looking as what has caused the war. Our prime aspect is saving the people who are innocent people who have had to face the consequences. So that's one of the things, and the majors one it was one of my prime subjects to study, and in there I realized that something we do not understand very well. I'm sure most people just think PTSD is just having trauma of something it's actually a very serious issue. It has multiple different sections in it, and the people, children, and specifically there's a section where women go through not only that but harassment as well in these refuge camps within themselves. So there's like a whole sector that we study of how things work in refuge camps and how people can help them, because even if we come to a country in a first world country, we learn all of these things, we have to go and apply there. I always knew that I will never be working in one of those countries. At some point I will have to come back, use whatever I've learned and apply it to the country where it's needed. So yes, sir. That's fine. Thank you so much.
Great. So I think that's been really enriching thoughts. Again, Dr. Salim brought in a very important, relevant aspects here, and Impana has witnessed him. She's like we say, life is learning a process, and
Yeah.
she's learning to imbibe as much as possible from various aspects, and bring this forward to uh, the forte. All right.
Yes, sir.
Before we wrap up the session, I think we have one other guest also with us. Yes. Hi, Dr. Adritanaya Tiwari. She's there. She wants to chip
Oh,
in, and she wants to say a few words. Yes, Adri, go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Am I
ah,
audible?
Hear you?
So I honestly haven't known ma'am that long,
Mhm.
but it's very surreal to see somebody living their dreams and inspiring so many of us in a very realistic and practical way, I must say, because most of our seniors that we look up to tend to just follow the whole crowd, and they go for MBS and they do everything that everybody before them has done. And it's like she's creating her own path, and she's creating a life for herself according to, on her own terms, and according to whatever she wants in life. And I think that's really inspiring, and it makes me want to do better too. And it's really it's a very incredible feeling, because all of you have, most people here are just people who have taught her or were seniors for her, but I was junior. So this is exciting to me, and I'm just very awestruck by everything. I've been listening to all that she's saying, and I'm really glad about how she's talking about mental health, because nobody really talks about those things. And even in our profession, it's mostly just brushed under the rug for no reason, because everybody thinks it's easier to deal that way. But it's actually, mental health is as important as physical health. And both of them go hand in hand when you're talking about public health as such. And I think it's good that people are realizing it, and I'm happy that she's working towards it.
Thank you. Thanks, Adri. I mean, yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, yeah, I'm not like I've not known you for a long, but I've known you well for not just from like personal interactions, but from a lot of people. And really thank you for saying that, because and about mental health, it's high time we talk about it, all of
It
us.
is.
And I may or may not be addressing the elephant in the room, but all of us struggle with it.
We
Each
do.
and every teacher, student in both the colleges that I have, like in the city and any other colleges that may be there, we, like you said, we brushed under the rug, and we all need to talk about it. Sometimes that may directly affect your academics. Some people are just strong enough to deal with it, which is not a good thing to do. But you know what, your education is only this much of your whole lifeline,
Mm.
and you're going to live with the mental health issue if you don't deal with it all your life. And that's going to show on a lot of other things. So we need to talk about it more, we need to address it more, and we need to bring about changes and implement things so that we can address that to students without them like fearing to come and talk to you about it. They should not. I mean, anybody as much and possible, and anybody who feels that they're not able to deal with things, get professional help. For people who says I'm going to talk to my best friend, it's not going to help. So they will, but everybody is having their own struggles. Everybody,
Mm.
whoever is listening to this, get the help you need. There is no shame in asking for help. You're going to be a better person for yourself and everybody around you. And it's something, honestly, I didn't learn it as a person. I learned it over experiences. I learned it over the fantastic group of friends that I have who motivated me, who've told me that it's okay. I myself ended up getting it because I knew changing cultures, changing things is not easy. And whatever I'm going to say, do not give up on what you're doing. It may sound the most bizarre thing ever, saying that everybody's doing something and you're going to the opposite direction. If you do what you are passionate about, like I said, if it resonates with you, do it. You're going to do well at it. So yeah.
I think most people have this mindset that you can't have a good life doing something that you're happy about. You need to make money, and you can't make a living off happiness or whatever. And it's good to see the mindset changing a little bit. Also, the whole dynamic about, in college we used to have this thing that even if we're going through a hard time, we're not able to we're not able to pick up after ourselves. We just have this mind thing that, let's just get over it. And
Yeah.
like you said, some people are strong enough for it, and even if they're strong enough for it in that moment, it
Yeah.
somewhat it stays with them, and then
Yeah.
it comes out at another time of their life. And
Yeah.
anytime that happens, it's not a good thing. It does not end well.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I agree
and
with this entire.
nobody really, it's considered really actually shameful to talk about it mostly,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
people think that it's some kind of abomination if you say you're under stress, or you having some anxiety, or you're, God forbid, having depression.
Yeah.
It's like
They
it's
also think that
some.
you're weak. They consider that as a sign of weakness, but admitting is
and
actually a sign of strength. Yeah.
and then when and these people, the people who say it's weak, are also going through the same things.
Yeah.
They're just so in, they're just going in circles around in their head. They don't realize what they're really going through,
Yeah.
and it manifests very differently, and in very awkward situations for these people
Yeah.
ultimately too. So I'm happy that people are speaking up about it, and I'm happy that your thesis is about it.
Yeah. I had to make a choice of that because it's important,
It's
especially in a
it
yeah,
is,
it is.
and nobody really speaks about it. And I cannot stress enough, as somebody who's been through all of this
Yeah.
myself, I can understand how important it is to talk about it, because
Yeah.
it can, if you, once you get help, or once you figure out that you're actually not weak, and you can accept the fact that you're going through something, you can actually work on yourself and make your life a lot much better,
Yeah.
rather than just staying under this thought process and everything, that
Yeah.
maybe I'm just weak, maybe I just have to
Yeah.
buckle up and get stronger and deal with it, or whatever. Especially
Yeah.
in our field, we go through a lot of stressful situations, even in the clinic and outside, on a daily basis, and nobody really speaks about how it's impacting our health or our motivation to go to college, in fact. So I'm happy, and it's really good to see someone familiar on PhD 101. I
Oh yes,
usually
Adri.
I usually don't come on these, but I saw Impana ma'am's face on the poster, and I thought, I'm gonna watch this one definitely.
Impana has bought people who who don't
Don't come regularly. Yeah.
come regularly. I think
This
this
is
is the
a
impact
this
of
is
these
a
sessions. I
this
have
is a
Naveen sir, I have Salim sir of every one. Sir is
this
resurfaced
is a
because
video call. This is a video
yeah.
call of all the people who adore Impana ma'am.
Oh, that's so nice of you to
Yes,
put it that way.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Adri.
Yes, Naveen sir. Yeah, closing
And
thoughts, sir.
Tiwari ji, yeah,
Hmm.
Tiwari ji, to add up,
Hmm.
uh, I'm sorry that you have gone through all these things, which I could make out from your words. But WHO was kind enough to say health is physical, mental, and social well-being long back.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
unfortunate, yeah, in 1948, I think, if I'm not wrong. But unfortunately, most of the countries don't at all consider mental and social health to be a part of. You can see any advertisements, everything will be showing bodybuilding. आपका blood test करवा दीजिए, अच्छा हो जाएगा. Labs offering so much of discounts. Uh, Everything related to physical health, unfortunately. And physical health, I think it's not even one third of the total health. Yes, it is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but mental health has an upper hand over physical health.
Yes, it does.
If you are mentally strong, even they say a handicapped person will try to walk. But
Yes.
if a physical person is mentally sound, he will not get up from the bed itself.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I do appreciate your views on the importance of mental health, and I hope uh, it's high time, because this pandemic has taught us what exactly a
Hmm.
social boycotting, or it I can call it a social boycotting, because you're not allowed to meet somebody, you're not allowed to meet your friends. So here, along with mental health, social health also has taken the uh, has shown that it is also important,
Yes.
because the happiness you get through social gatherings, I don't think you get through others. Like
Yes.
Impara already said, you should attend conferences. And conferences not only give you development of academics, it helps in all round development.
Yes.
Mm.
True, sir. Thank you so much. I think we've really touched upon a very relevant issue here, and we started talking about mental health. I think this session is turning out to be really, something else. Which I'm so happy about it that we start off with, and this is, I think, Impana now gets it. This is precisely why I wanted to touch upon your journey.
Yeah.
It's because you have had the chance to reach out to people in different domains, and once we get started and get talking on that, I think we throw a lot of light on that, and it's very relatable. And of course, a lot of us in our inner circle, of course, have known you personally through your journey as well. So that's really nice to know and discover.
Do you have a blog, Dr. Impana?
No, sir, I've
I
not
think you
gotten
should
there
start
yet.
one. Yeah, you
Yeah,
should
so
start one,
one day, so
and
hopefully I will.
try to reach the people who deserve it, because most of them who are not having proper mental health, at least will be a good reader. They would
Yes,
like
sir. Thank
to
you so much.
read the media, whatever it is. So
Yes, sir.
please get into that and try to
Yes, sir.
help
Sure.
as many people as possible.
Thank you, sir. Will do. I will certainly
Thank you,
take that
Denzel.
as a
Thank
note.
you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you, Naveen, sir. Always a pleasure to have you and someone like you in our specialty who always adds value to conversations and thought process. Thank you, Naveen, sir. Thank you for joining in. Okay, quickly, I think just wrap up the session and then get this going. So, there you are, Impana. I think the last hour or so, I mean, it's just gone away like, breezy with thoughts and experiences,
Yes,
right
sir.
from your college time to how you discovered the passion for community and alongside pursued your not extracurricular but co-curricular activities, as I put it, and eventually led you to take up the session or the program what you've been pursuing and across this thing. So yes, your closing thoughts on this, Impana. I think, of course, this
Yes,
is not to
yeah,
end.
I do have. Yeah, I know, but there's like so much to talk about. But I think I will just touch on to some really, really, really important things. And because I know there's going to be a vast audience watching it now, and even much later in the future, because it's going to be on the page. I would like to a couple of things for students, especially because I came across teaching. I wanted to put this earlier as well. I came across teaching students who have reading and basically dyslexia, like literally disabilities, dyslexia, and um, so many mental health issues such as cerebral palsy and mental retardation. And I have understood that they are the strongest people because their disabilities are physically seen as well, and they're not able to read and write. We need to show, as people who are teaching students and as people who are inspiring people, like they're peers who are, people are going to look up to you. Be patient, be empathetic. For some people it might not be that easy, and if you feel like you don't know what to do next, don't be so hard on yourself. Not everybody figured their life out in a span like this, and life's just going to give you the problems are going to come one after the other, and they're going to come in wondrous ways that you've never imagined. But always know that they're coming to you only because you can deal with it. If it's to you, you will deal with it. If it's come to you, that means you are capable of dealing with it. And people, I would really say that, please, please set boundaries in life. I might not be the best of the persons to say this, because I've learned this like a human being by making a millions of mistakes. But set boundaries in life and practice empathy, practice patience with people. And everybody out there, break stereotypes. You are no longer, life is changing and world is changing at a faster pace that you can never imagine. Your 9 to 5 is never going to serve you, so you have to make sure that you are doing something for your financial health, and then you're doing something for yourself. As a person, you need to grow each and every day until you die. Move countries, look at the world. One thing that I understood, that I love my country, I love how diverse it is. Every city, every kilometer, it changes. But there is a whole world out there for you to see. Even if you don't want to settle down, look, see the world. It's amazing. It's beyond anything, and Indians are doing great work, so I'm really proud. And yeah, these are the few things that I would say. Learn new cultures, learn new languages. For people who think different languages are not important, please learn a lot of languages. You may be from Karnataka or just from Maharashtra, or Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or from the north of any countries. Learn different languages. You will see and experience life in a different way. And um, yeah, I would also like to give a shout out to all of my teachers, because they've not just made me academically what I am today, they've made me the person I am today. Especially Dr. Harsha Babji sir. I used to intern at his clinic for about a year, and sir has not only molded me into the doctor that I am. Sir knew that I never wanted to learn clinical work. He knew that I wanted to learn administrative work. So sir always put me to all of those things, and sir gave me life lessons. Sir made me the person I am. He taught me patience. He taught me so many things, and he also took me to clinics where in rural areas where I saw people needed help. Whoever gets the chance of serving people in the rural areas, please take it. You don't know the difference that you're going to be making, but it's one of the most fulfilling aspects that of life that you have. And and for people who say it's not financially well doing, you can make money. It's not about making. You can make sustaining money. You can make good money. People are ready to pay, but they're not getting the help they need. So work in those sectors, and whichever field you choose to pursue, clinical, non-clinical, just make sure that what you pick is your passion and you're not going to worry. And the last thing, I know I'm saying a lot of last things with this one, never, ever, ever pick a course to figure out your job. Never, ever, ever do that. Find out your skills and think about the job you're going to do. And the course is going to be how you're going to bridge it. That's it. If this is my skill, this is the job I future, and if this job pays me well, then I'm going to figure out a degree. I'm not going to say, oh, let me see if I get MPH degree, then I'll think about the scope that jobs gives me. So please, guys, these are the few tips that I've learned over my journey. And a huge shout out to all of my friends, because I don't think I could do it with Krishnan and Hansika and Shravan and Ipsita and my friend Ahmed and a lot of other people like Shashank and all of these people who made me what I am today. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's it, I think. Like sir said, I should make a blog and start writing because I have way too much to say.
So, what a great conversation that's been, Impana. I think thank you so much for being yourself, for being honest and diverse in your expression of thought and experience. I think this is what we're really looking at, because stories at PhD 101 for the rendezvous sessions are stories which inspire, stories which motivate and inculcate. And we really didn't want to give out a lot of stories which dentists could not relate, or dental students could not. So we do have people among our own fraternity, and this is what the session aims to discover and explore more in that direction. So it's been almost more than 2 years now, and we've been starting on this journey. And every week we come across different personalities, people I've known well, people I've just been acquainted with. But this is special because for me, having witnessed you grow through the years, and I take like immense pride in that. That yes, I was really there for you at many point of time and continue to be. And this is like a moment of pride for me, because I see you, going out there and conquering the world. And today, actually. Putting out things so articulately and so meticulously, that's really amazing. So thank you so much, Impana, for being yourself and for being what you are. And I think yes, in your own words, and in one of our things we commonly keep saying, right, in a world where you could be anyone, be the best version of yourself. And that really sums up the entire session what we've had today. Thank you all so much, and especially a big shout out to Impana's family and her near and dear ones in her social circle. Like she said, you are a result of all of their efforts. So I think it's very important to acknowledge that and keep that in mind, and acknowledge their efforts towards your being. And everyone from College of Dental Sciences who've witnessed her journey, who've been a part of that, especially Naveen sir and all the other teachers, which Impara mentioned, Dr. Harsha, all of them, right? And eventually her circle back there, and now to what she has actually begun. So we're proud of you, Impana, and we're really happy that you are where you are, and wishing you Godspeed in everything that you do, and keep this mantle going, and keep rising and keep shining. Proud of you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot. Thank you so much. And thank
All
you
right.
everybody for joining. It's a big honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you all soon at the next session of our academic as well as the rendezvous sessions. Let's keep this curve of learning going. All of you, stay safe, stay connected, and as they say, make the most of what you got. So thank you all so much. The session will also be available on YouTube for people who joined in late or who were not able to attend the entire session. Please go look it up. Any specific assistance any of your students need related to what our speaker has discussed, you can always do write into us at publichealthdentistry101@gmail.com. So we'll be really happy to address and help you with specific assistance, be it public health dentistry or beyond. So thank you all so much, all of you. Take care. Goodbye. See you then. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.